like I was an artist, and then I became a musician. And I just always wrote poetry, but that's like, therapy. you know?
But I have to do that.
Yeah. It's like, do you breathe? Yes. Do you write poetry? I have to, or I'll die.
I want to take in her outfit and mannerisms, the way she sits, because she's been at this a lot longer than me. Before transitioning, while dating, I had to make sure the pitch of my voice stayed below that of a Great Dane bark. I had to keep my wrists stiff like the arched back of a panther ready to pounce. You know how a man is supposed to act. Only to eventually drop the act and become a unicorn with frozen yogurt swirling from its ass.
This is Lilith McFarland.
Oh yeah.
Okay, that you did. I think that you did the poetry readings when they were at Vino's.
Oh yeah.
You were a part of those?
Very much of those.
Yeah. Do you remember when those started?
I wasn't there for the very beginning. I think it was like 2013, 2014, something like that.
Okay. All right, because Justin couldn't remember when they started. So I was like, well, I don't know when they started.
Yeah, I mean, I was smoking a lot of weed back then.
Do you want that in the video? Okay.
I mean, I think most people who know me, it's pretty obvious. I mean.
Okay. But what did you get from that? Do you think that benefited you in any way doing the readings at Vino's?
I think it taught me a lot about how to read poetry live and what worked in poems and what didn't.
Mm-hmm. And how old were you then?
I was I think 23, 24.
Okay. And how long have you been writing poetry?
Probably about 7 years.
Okay. Can you remember the first time you ever sat down to write a poem?
Oh yeah. It was this exercise from my creative writing classes, and in college, and they were just start every sentence with these 4 things. And I was like, okay, cool. And so it was just a bunch of random shit, some dogs go to hell. And most of my earlier poems were like that, because I was just very closeted at the time, so I was just I don't have anything to really talk about. Come from with some shit, dog shitting or something. I think first started writing poetry, I hadn't really been through anything, but I found that writing is a good way to deal with things and put it in perspective. So now I just write confessional poems about my life.
Mm-hmm.
And my family is gonna come see me read in about a month. I'm up there to learn things about me.
That's cool. That's awesome. Do you feel better after you write a poem, or do you sometimes find out more about yourself afterward? Or
Kind of both. But getting it on paper really helps, because it just once you see it on the screen, it's okay, I can do a third thing as well.
Yeah. Do you think that reading them helps too, or do you think that sometimes?
It definitely helps with I guess angst or whatever, or feeling like a alien from outer space, because when people laugh or whatever, they tell me I'm doing a good job, I feel it makes me feel that's a little weird. I just feel as long as no one throws things at me and calls me a tranny, then it went pretty well.
I don't think anyone would do that.
No, but I want it to happen at least once, though.
And then you'll have a new poem to write about it. And now what did you think was different about doing it at Whitewater than the Vino's ones? What did you think was different about the environment? Was there anything that you liked more?
It's about the same. I think Whitewater, I could see everyone better, because Vino's the stage is kind of up there, and behind the podium I was just I felt I wasn't actually in the room with anyone.
Mm-hmm.
Which is great for anxiety, but Whitewater, I felt everyone was seemed
very
they were
visible.
Yeah, so I was just okay, it's just a little funner.
Mm-hmm. Are you gonna do it more? Do you think that?
I think I'll try to make it every month, and I'm gonna be featured on Wednesday Night Poetry on August 1st. So that's gonna be plug.
What is that? What is Wednesday Night Poetry?
It's in Hot Springs at Collective Coffee. They've been doing it every year every week for almost 30 years.
Is there anything you hope for yourself out of poetry, and is there anything that you hope your audience gets with your poetry?
I hope I get a book published, and also I think coming from a perspective that's pretty underrepresented, things a lot of people are really uneducated on trans issues and stuff and queer issues, so that's nice. And also if I I'd read my poems when I was younger. I'd be like, oh, I'm not like a sycophant or something. So.
Now I sit across from her, gesturing with my hands as if I have a sparkler in each, writing them in smoke until my fingertips burn. She laughs with head shaking nostalgia when she notices the matching silver bands on my middle and ring fingers. The way you look at a photo from college and wonder why you let someone take your picture after that many Four Locos. Fucking good. Yeah. She talks about her degree in gender studies. She talks about giving her catcalls the fucking finger and getting away with it. She even shook Wingman's letter until she saw fear sweat down his face. She talks about giving birth. I place an open hand beneath the table. I place an open palm beneath the table, just below my navel, knowing the only way anything will grow there is if I start drinking Budweiser every night again. She's eaten half that Nutty Bird sandwich, and her lipstick hasn't even faded. She isn't rushed or swayed when the waitress asks us over and over again if we need anything else, trying to push us out the door as if we cannot pay our check, so that a man and woman can take our place. She asks me what my favorite color is, and I tell her it's chartreuse. And her eyes are spotlights shining on the fact that I'm finally dating someone like me, dating as myself. Like a monarch riding from her own cocoon to land on another monarch, freshly back from a flight to Mexico or wherever they migrate. We pay and leave, going Dutch like wooden clocks. The great perk of dating now is I don't have to pay for everything.
Okay, so my first question was it earlier? Like, wait, no. How long have you been writing poetry?
I started writing poetry in the third grade. I wrote a poem as fast as I possibly could, and I said I wanted to be a veterinarian because I wanted to rhyme everything with vet, because that was so I just kept writing ever since.
Did you do it because it was an assignment, or did you just do it because you wanted to?
Well, I did it because I wanted to later. I mean, well, I just started writing poems. I just never stopped. I wanted to write poems. I wanted to write poems like Shel Silverstein. And I wanted to, Shel Silverstein was everything to me when I was in third, fourth grade.
When did you first start reading publicly and why?
I started reading publicly at the very first poetry slam at Vino's that ever happened. That was the first time I read, and it was terrible. Actually, wait, that's a lie. No, that's true. But then after that, so they used to have a poetry show on KBF, and I used to call in all the time and ask them to read poems by people that I liked. I made every person I knew a fish, though, in one of my poems, and that was one of my favorites. Where instead of being people, they were all just fish.
Whenever things happen, do you think that you tend to go to your creative outlets to cope more often? And
oh yeah, that's why I like a lot of my poetry is really terrible. Some of it's really, really terrible. It's because I'm just really trying to sometimes I feel like if I don't write this down, I'm never gonna stop thinking these 8 sentences. They're just gonna be stuck in my head. So I don't memorize my poems, and I know in competitions that kind of they frown on that, but I'm never going to memorize my poems because that's why I put them on paper, so I wouldn't have to think about them anymore. If I hadn't written anything, I probably would have really lost my mind for sure.
what do you think it is about writing that helps?
Well, like I said, you could either obsess about it or you could get it out, and that's a thing. Also, sometimes, I like to take artistic license because, and that's what I like about writing is that I can be kind of have my own perspective on it, and add little things that I think are it would be way cooler if it was like this,
Yeah.
So the story gets to be cooler than it actually really was.
When do you decide something needs to be a song or when something needs to be a poem?
When I feel like screaming it, it's definitely a song. If I have to go outside and I'm just just go away. Like, that's literally a song I wrote. And all I was just yelling in the backyard, just go away. Because, like, people kept coming to my house. And I, like, put up a sign that said nobody could come over. And I came home, and there were people in my house. And I was like, no, go away. And I mean, like, some of the emotions aren't like that. But, like, when I wrote Keep On Playing, it had to be a song. It was about my friends leaving or going away or passing away, and that song means so much to me. And now it had to be a song because it had to be beautiful. It had to be like not just a set standard or anything. It just had to be something that was beautiful and sad, and you could give it to people in this like flowery way, like music is. I think when people need to hear it in a softer way, it definitely needs to be a song.
That's a really nice. Last two, I have two questions left.
Okay.
The other one is, what did you think of the poetry reading that was done at Whitewater?
That felt okay because I've done other poetry readings, and that was the best poetry reading experience I've ever freaking had.
Really?
Like, nobody was super pretentious. Everybody was very, like, supportive. And I didn't hear anybody read anything or say anything that I was like, seriously? Why are we still talking? You know what I mean? And it was just really good. It was just, like, a lot of really great people came together, read a lot of really great stuff. Just great. I was just like, oh. You know what I mean? I know great's such a generic word, but, like, it was, like, a really good experience. It was one of the best experiences I've ever had reading in my life.
So my last question is, what is your goal for yourself with poetry, and what is your goal that you would like to achieve with the audience with your poetry?
If what I write is relatable to you and helps you in your life, that's all I ever. Like, how many writers have I read where I read a book that I bought for like 69 cents called Recipes from the Dump. It's about a woman from Utah who like is a cashier. But that book got me through like postpartum depression. And that's all I want to do. If anything I write, somebody reads it and goes, oh, I can live another day. Then I've done my job. And I didn't really have long-term goals until recently. I think I just want to publish more. That's it. Oh, I'm not that tall. I ran here, and I don't memorize shit because I write it down, so I'll stop obsessing about it. This is an old one, but it's like my favorite. This poem is called Like the Fitzgeralds, but fatter and without all the amazing literary influences. We frequent bars, prancing around with alcoholic integrity like we're the Fitzgeralds, Zelda and Scott. I quote bad poetry and attempt conversation, rolling my eyes with boredom and exhaustion, while you collect phone numbers from people I'd rather not even claim in public.